To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Well, I knew you were coming back.
Yeah. That was that whole period was a calamity, wasn't it?
Calamity's not even an understatement. I'm sorry. This is my show, right? That was a
Just so.
straight up military clusterfuck.
Yeah. And I was very hard on Huso, for a couple of those goals, but really, let's just face it, the Blues defense did not show up to the rink tonight. You can't.
I disagree. Defense, it's not the defense that didn't show up; it's the offense. This is a team.
That too.
This is a team that gets its offense from its defense, and when you only take 7 freaking shots, and you don't take your first shot until after the first 10 minutes of the period, that's the issue. The issue is they're not looking for offense, and that's creating the holes in defense. At least in my eyes. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I think it's a combination of multiple factors. It's, for one, Vince Dunn is having one of the worst games I've seen him in ever as a Blue. I mean, he just looks absolutely lost there out on defense. He almost deserves, in my mind, the Pierre-Luc Dubois treatment, and he just needs to, sit, ride some pine for the rest of the game because he's just been a disaster.
If he wasn't a defenseman, I would absolutely agree with you. But since he's a defenseman, I gotta go against that a little bit and say, nah, maybe not.
There you go. We're that nice, beautiful scenery behind you. Hopefully, calm our anxiety.
Yeah, I figure as all as fucked up as this game is, I might as well help people out a little bit. Okay, so let's go over this. So this game starts off, and it doesn't look bad for the Blues. But the Kings came out of the gate. They had the penalty kill of O'Reilly from slashing at 1940 of the first, and they really took control of the game. At 6:25, Velarde gets he picks off Dunn, makes Dunn look bad, and Brown feeds him. He beats Huso. You're there. Tell me what you think.
It's just inexcusable. It was absolutely inexcusable. At some point you do want Huso to make a stop at some point, but it's hard to have confidence when you're a goalie, when you're seeing your defense in front of you just fall apart. Confidence is a two-way street there. If your goalie's making big saves, then your team gets confidence, but if your defense is falling apart, then you're leaving your goalie hang out to dry. And this has been a rough introduction to the NHL for Ville Huso. 2 games, and he's allowed 9 goals in the span of now 60 minutes, or just about 60 minutes. Not a good way to start your NHL career. It doesn't give you a lot of confidence, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's already starting to get the yips a little bit. He's been absolutely shelled. And there's no excuse for it. They've got to play better in front of him.
Yep, and not even 2 minutes later, and this is the downfall of the period. At 8:22, Kempe fires a beautiful shot that tips Kopitar. Originally it was Kempe. They've changed it to Kopitar. That's the right call. The video shows it glances off his leg. But that's where this game turned. Believe it or not, I thought up to that point that the Blues did have some fire, but the mistakes started mounting, and this is where I feel the game has turned in King's favor.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you kind of, I think I said it in the first intermission, but it just kind of felt like this game, the Kings smelled blood. Because Binnington was out, Huso was in. This is the second of a back-to-back, so maybe the Blues don't have the quite the energy that they should have. But Kings, don't tell that to the Kings. I mean, they came out swinging. They were out shooting the Blues from the jump, and it's just not been a good game overall. And of course, that fifth goal, by the Kings, coming straight out of the penalty box. I guess crime does pay after all. Yeah, and Husso did everything he could. I mean, he made a nice stop with his toe there, but unfortunately, Anderson, didn't decide to hang around and poke in the rebound. Kind of unfortunate.
No, I'm not faulting anybody here on that. Anybody at all.
That's just a free goal.
No, it is. There were hockey goals here. I mean, that's true. You talked about Anderson getting his goal from Kopitar and Roy. And then at 19:29, Scandella gets a holding call. So we're back on. So, you know what? I'm going to do this a little bit, and you can beat me up later. I'm going to do a little bit of this right here. Okay?
Okay.
You know that article that people tore me up over?
Which one?
The Berube being a little bit under the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Who nailed it? Who nailed it?
Yeah,
I got tore up, and I'm not the idiot everybody thinks I am.
Well, this is adversity for Berube. He needs to. This team is tied up in knots and needs to work out the knots. So the honeymoon period's over, and he needs to get this team on track pretty quickly. This is a big test for him.
This is a great quote, Brian Blackford. Players look like celebrities trying to remember their past hard work. Beautiful.
Very nice.
I got to give him one of these, baby. Don't you just love the soundboard, man?
Oh yeah, I need to get one of those.
Yeah, hey, but no. So I'm not trying. Believe it or not, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just trying to say that in that article, I was making a point that this was not. There are expectations that are not being met, and there are some things that we are seeing very early in the season that mimic 2018, 2019. That's what I was trying to get at.
Well, and totally, because I saw someone make the point on Twitter. Where has Ryan O'Reilly been? He has done little. I mean, no points so far. I don't think he has a point.
No,
and
his in the last game.
And his analytics are just kind of like it's not the usual Ryan O'Reilly, and I don't know if he's still trying to ramp up to the season. I don't know if he's historically a slow starter. In fact, actually, I can tell you he wasn't, because in that 2018-19 Blues season, when the Blues are playing so bad, more often than not, Ryan O'Reilly was the one that actually showed up to the rink and, put in the work. So I don't know if something's going on with him. I don't know if he's, got being captain on his mind too much. But he's one of the guys that you should, kind of put on a milk carton and ask, a little bit more out of. Hoffman, you're starting to see some signs from Mike Hoffman tonight that, maybe, he's going to get going. He's had a couple of attempts on goal, a couple of decent looks. He just hasn't been able to break through yet. But, they need to get those two guys going for sure. They need to get shots on goal in general. I mean, this is pretty bad. I think they have, I can't see behind me, but I think it's 14 shots on goal now after two. And for the longest time, it was still single digits. I think that's been padded by a flurry, in the last few minutes of the period. So
they didn't take a shot until after the 10-minute mark of the second. It's 27-14 shots. So O'Reilly isn't on the. No, he did get 2 points in the last game. He had 2 assists in the last game. But I see O'Reilly doing a lot more of being a captain than being the hockey player. He's out there doing the forechecking, the constantly on the puck and that stuff. But I also think he's got C-itis a little bit and not going for the net and doing that and trying to do a little too much. I think the absolute thing, and I look at my Blackhawk buddy. Of course, the Blackhawks win today, so he's got to come in and give me shit, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy. Love you too, buddy. He knows I'm joking with him. He knows I'm joking with him.
Hey, Blackhawks fans got to take their victories where they can.
Oh, hold on. Quicksand. Yeah. Too many individualistic. Now, you did point out something that I wrote down. I know I showed you my board. I think it might have still been on there when you've seen it. Hoffman was seeing the ice really well in that first period. He was seeing the gaps. His eyes were spreading out. I was really impressed with Hoffman in the first period.
Yeah, he seems to be coming out a little bit, coming out of his, I guess, shell, if you will, if he wasn't comfortable the first few games. But one thing I was warned about, we have an Ottawa Senators podcast in our network, and the guy that runs it warned me about Hoffman that, he's the type of player that will disappear for a few games, and then he'll suddenly have a flurry. Kind of like kind of reminds me of, remember Jeff Courtnall? Courtnall was a guy that was very streaky, would, go games without getting points, and then all of a sudden he'd have a hat trick. Hoffman is kind of a similar type of a guy where sometimes, I don't know if teams just key up on him or what, but it just, he blips for a little while. So I think we might be getting out of a blip period here with Hoffman. Yep.
Okay. So I got to point this out. We got to do another one of these. Are you ready?
Yep.
It's going to be a loud one because this is a good point. From Lance to Scott of the Drop Podcast, the Blues have not had good neutral zone or offensive zone play. The D is falling back when the LA approaches the offensive zone, not enough continual offensive zone pressure. And this is why, for my buddy Louis, this is why the Blues are losing 5-1 and have given up 5 unanswered goals. This is a great point by Lance. I know you've got to go soon. The neutral zone. When they clean up the neutral zone, they are the best team in hockey.
Yeah. Well, the Scandella penalty was caused by bad offensive zone play. The Blues had the puck in the Kings zone, and they completely mishandled it and allowed the Kings to break out. And then, of course, Scandella ends up losing his stick and then ends up getting a penalty because, well, he lost his stick. So it just seems like, problems compounding problems here tonight. Whenever Dunn is having his issues tonight, he doesn't have Binnington there to bail him out.
Yeah, I know. And I got to do this one again. Son of a bitch. Right? Because that's what this has been, right?
Yeah.
Now, before you got to go, I will say this. It takes 1 to get 2.
Yep.
To get 3 to get 4. Worry about the 1. Take control early because really quick, Ken will give up, and he has been known to give up a flurry early, right?
Yeah.
Another quote from Dance. Play the puck, not the man.
Yeah.
Lance. Hey, Lance. We're going to do a post game between us. If you're available, let us know. I would love to talk to you for a few minutes, if that's okay with you, because I know it's your show. Tom?
All right. Yeah, that'd be great if he can come on. Absolutely.
Yeah, Lance, just let me know, and we'll get you the link if you can. We love you, buddy. We know we absolutely love you. Oh, I got a yes from him. We're going to get the drop. We're going to get the drop on the drop.
All right.
Oh, now he says,
the drop's going to drop in.
Now he says, I'll see. Okay, well, I hope I get him. I'm so excited. I love Lance. Tom, I love you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you got to get ready to get back to the game. I'll be waiting for your link. Everybody, so my post game is going to be in the Hawaii Blues Fan Clan. I'm going to try it. I can't share that one, but we're going to share some other ones on Twitter. I think when you share it on Twitter, you're going to tag my links, tag my Twitter accounts too, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right, we'll tag you. So find us. This is going to be the Blue Notes Weekly podcast and my post game, and you already know we're going to have a lot of fun. So,
and we will be broadcasting on the Fan Clan account, and and we'll also be broadcasting on the Blue Notes Bunch and the Blue Notes podcast page as well. So maybe you can share that as well.
Yeah, we'll get it shared out. And everybody, let's hope we hear. 4 times in the third.
We need a bunch of those.
Yep. Okay, bud. I love you. I'll see you later, man.
All right.
Everyone,
Aloha.
aloha. I can't wait to see you on the post-game show.